Hey y'all, glasses off. I discovered today by accident, looking at some photos from Kaleidoscope's The Table. Um, I look like the guy from Opus Dei on the Da Vinci Code, but I'm here to talk about illogical logic, which is a portion of my faith. And in it is going to blend some of my creationist beliefs and quite a few others. It's always a ramble, kids. It's always a ramble. There's another storm coming through, which makes a perfect backdrop for tonight's discussion. I owned, for a while, 3/4 of an acre on Dr. Andrew J. Brown. Half of it was woods. There used to be a street that went through there called Macy Street. That is why Van Wald Cottage had two doors at the back and one in the front. Well, it would have originally had an address of Macy Street. Yeah, people would have gone, oh, it's a scrub woods, blah, 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 blah. But in it lived so much creation. So when I was listening to the still small voice, for some, um, the Holy Spirit, and for myself, the Holy Comfort, that I needed to leave and go away for a while. There was a gentleman that wanted my property. His name is Bill. Met him a couple of times, very unique. Um, he liked to go to the Alps in New Zealand and loved spending time with his family and cars and everything. And when I sold Van Wald to Bill, we had an oral agreement that the woods would never be touched. They would never be disturbed. He had bought, gosh, almost 2 blocks there on Dr. Andrew J. Brown. My woods connected to more woods. Behind it was the Monon Trail. There was a huge swath of grassland, rabbits, groundhogs, squirrels, all sorts of birds. It had been there for decades. Unfortunately, Bill died. A horrible death that I wouldn't wish on a single person. And with his death, our oral agreement that the woods would not be touched. Well, the heirs wanted to liquidate. When I was returned from Ireland, and had found my little cottage here. Ooh, thank you, Creator. Um, I stopped at the intersection of what 32nd and Dr. Andrew J. Brown. The moment a heavy piece of equipment took down Von Wald Cottage, I watched as they ripped up the weeping mulberry tree. Then, as they continued with the build of this horrid piece of apartment building, I won't go into the particulars of it, but no one from this area could afford to live there, nor would they want to. For what, 200 plus apartments? There's one elevator. They totally destroyed Von Wald wood, all the rest of the wood, and the open grassland. It's now asphalt and concrete. Well, my part of the oral agreement, I am still alive. And so I honor it. There are so many animals that had been their home for decades, suddenly displaced. Beautiful Mr. Groundhog, rabbit that my cat Chance had taken up as a friend. It's where Miracle went to ground. After Miracle, my sheep died. A friend asked if they could bring their pet dog that had died to Von Waldwood so that it could go to ground. Well, last fall, I had a surprise visitor. And I'm not making up sizes. A 2-foot long Norwegian rat sitting on my sink and looking at me. And I looked at him and I said, I understand that I have to uphold my part of your safety agreement. You will be safe here. I will provide basic needs. Here's the deal. You got to get rid of the house mice. And Henri, which I named him, stood up on his haunches and put his paws together as if we were in agreement. And we are. Unfortunately, the colony has grown, and I have to make some very difficult decisions as a creationist. I would love to trap and release. There's no place safe to release the colonies. People had put out poisons and hard glue traps. I enjoy that hawks and the Merlin falcon, yes, it is a species, come here and get a fat Norwegian that's out in the backyard. Oh, is the rain going to come in? I hope not. The storm is such a good backdrop for this. So, I'm going to have to trap and humanely dispatch some of the Norwegians. Well, a good majority of the Norwegians. The older ones still find comfort in the cellar, the crawl space, and darting across the floor. Any seeds or foods, I've moved out into Rocco's room and beyond the fence, beyond Rocco's fence. Some have taken the hint and are dispersing out. It's quite difficult for me. And in my personal faith, I will have great sorrow. Oh goodness, I have to shut it. The rain's coming in, but maybe we'll have some good thunderbolts and lightning. This decision is not something to make lightly. And last night, Rocco and I were curled up in bed, and I could feel on top of the covers a very heavy visitor that curled up on my foot. And I gently talked and explained what is going to have to happen. And after my sharing words and an exchange of mental pictures, my visitor left my bed. Now, if Henri should happen to get into the live trap, I will turn him loose. They won't go to waste. They will quietly die of hypothermia. When the colony first arrived, I gave them, for the protection of myself and Rocco, they received proper dosages of parasite worm medication in their kibble. They also received a full round of antibiotic in their water. Um, if I heard a sneeze from one of them, they got Benadryl. Okay? So, this colony is a healthy organic colony. The ones that I dispatch will be available if anyone has falcons or other raptors that need food. In the act of hypothermia and freezing, um, it kills all parasite and disease. Sorry, my Norwegians are healthy. So are my falcons and hawks. So I will offer them to persons that would need them for reptilians or scatter out for the feral cats, of which I have more showing up after they chop. Oh, Lord have mercy. My little Bracloon's becoming crowded. I've got more and more cats coming through. Um, I don't know what I'm going to do about birds with territories. I've only so many trees. The biggest problem? Humans and greed. I should hear thunder soon. Thank you. I love it when the Creator helps me make a point. I would love for Brockloon to remain a safe place. Now to the title. Illogical Logic. The Norwegian refugees came to me with a need. And I didn't turn them away. Well, Brockloon has so many. When they did the rewiring, they didn't plug holes where things ran through. So, natural pathways. Yes, illogical for me to provide them shelter over winter and sustenance and care. Logical because I had to uphold my agreement. Now, the little deer mice, I would like to live trap. I need a decent sized plastic container that when I catch them, I can open up the trap into the top because they can jump up to 2 feet high. And I think I might be able to find some safe grassland for them. That's their natural area. There's a few spots like that left. Or if any of you would that have space Deer mice are quite adorable, and they also, we'll call it the Brockloon species, um, have use a prehensile tail. Oh well, the magic of Brockloon. As you can tell, Mama's wasting, but not wasting time. I've got flower beds to complete, prunings to do. I need to mix as my friend Ben did some cutting of the fast-growing mulberry that was getting into my wires coming into the house. So it's cut down again. It'll sprout back up. Um, but I noticed on a couple of them, some of the branches at the end are starting to bud. So I'm going to cut those. I need to get a vase to put them in so they can root. Mulberries grow fast and they make a wonderful hedge. Plus, I like mulberries. The birds like mulberries. The rodents like mulberries. The opossums like mulberries. Hey, excellent vitamins. But then I'm going to take and, using my hand cutter, cut it into proper lengths, which, don't be offended, they're called faggots. It's a bundle of twigs. These will be attached to my outside fence on the inside of my property. And I may attach a couple to the south side of the house. Why? They make wonderful places for birds to nest. And also, it'll keep some of the neighbors curious about the Irish nun that's got some juju in her. And why waste something? Maybe if I plant my vining seeds that I have and give a few sticks up towards it, I can have the hanging bundles, faggots, will be filled with blossoming, vining flowers. I think that would be a wonderful look on the south side. The storm the other night, I've still not gone down to the cellar to check it out. I need to, but we're finished with Illogical Logic and it being part of personal faith. Now, my visit with the neurologist. I did not know that they and I had met not long after my death from the stroke. They're old school Romanian. But we met, and we both agreed that if I'd been listened to and been able to see a person that knew how strange I am with a body that shouldn't be working. But at the end, I offered her my hard hat. I guess you have to be old European to understand that. And left. Now today I saw endocrinology. And they were running behind. So I was sitting there. And a person opened up to me. A person with sorrows. Well, which way? I have to look straight at that dot for you to look at my eyes. Anyway, the Holy Spirit came down. My mouth open. And we talked for a goodly hour. I wish when I attend Mass that the Holy Spirit could come in with me, but it would probably frighten 3/4 of the people at Christ Church Cathedral to have a good whomping through of the Holy Spirit. No, I didn't speak in tongues. Well, I did speak Arabic, Hindi, French, and Spanish today. Yeah, that's all the languages I used today. And it was all to bring comfort or laughter or recognition. Well, say little prayers. I deal with humane dispatch. And I know people will have tons of things to say. Hypothermia. Ooh, I like lightning, thunder. And the rain stopped moving in. But I have to do and work with, in the most humane way, what I have available without harming anything in this beautiful cycle of life that exists in Brooklyn. Well, you all are loved. You all have value. Yes, I've lost my mouth filter, and I'll tell you if I think your shorts look like underwear. The diversity community needs to be honest. There's a place and a time for individual expressions. Y'all can shave your heads and start wearing modest, monk, nun kind of stuff. We can go to airports and beg for money. Oh, that came up in a conversation. I'm a Shinto Buddhist. Started out with a small group in Bloomington, which grew into the larger Buddhist community. Had a friend tell me I should start wearing saffron orange, but that's a color I'm working with. It's too friggin' happy. And now orange is associated with things. So, put my glasses on. You'll see reflection. I love a good storm because it's the only way I can know where the buttons are to push. So, everyone in my diversity community, you are loved. I'm going to come off harsh sometimes because I've survived a few of these cycles. I might hurt some feelings, but I'd rather your feelings be hurt than for you to be violated. I wish for every single one of you at least my age worth of life and pack as much into it as possible. Go to another country, explore, lose fear. Because when you fear, you give someone else the power. Well, I'm going to enjoy some thunderbolts and lightning. Very, very frightening. Mamma mia, let me go.